Thanks everybody that joined us. So let's get started with our webinar, From Data to Impact, How a Leading Bank Transformed It with Alteryx. So now that I've already presented myself, let me tell you a story about transformation. One where a leading American bank decided to reimagine how they approach analytics and operations. All is starting with their finance team. So picture this, a team buried under manual process, siloed data, and tools that couldn't keep up with their growing demands. But rather than just patching things up, they aimed for a total transformation. And they didn't just pick any tool for the job. They went all in on Alteryx. The result? A journey that turned skeptics into advocates, beginners into power users, and inefficiencies into incredible savings. Why does this matter? Well, because their story isn't just about technology. It's about unleashing potential. This presentation is just a look at what they did. It's a roadmap for anyone who wants to create meaningful change in their organization. So let's dive in. Our first chapter is the case for change. Back in November 2022, this bank did something many of us forget to do. They hit the pause button. They stepped back and said, let's rethink our approach to emerging technologies for finance. They weren't looking for just another tool. They needed something transformational. They wanted to automate their repetitive tasks because, let's be honest, no one likes spending hours and hours and hours on tasks that a computer can handle. They needed to modernize their outdated processes. Many of their workflows hadn't evolved with times. They were still on Excel era or prehistorical era. And they needed to future-proof their teams. They needed a solution that wouldn't just work for today, but would set them up for success in the years to come. Then, in early 2023, to get started, they launched a survey to understand the tools their team was already using and how they felt about them. This survey was the foundation of their strategy. And what they discovered was eye-opening. And that's what we'll see in the next slide. So let's stop for a moment and let me ask you this. How many tools do you think your team uses regularly? And how many of those are truly effective? The survey revealed that the bank's finance team was juggling multiple tools: Data IQ, Tableau, Power BI, MicroStrategy, and others. But Alteryx, almost no one was using it. Look, 88% of people that worked for this bank had never used Alteryx. That might sound like a red flag, right? But the leadership saw it differently. They realized that Alteryx wasn't being ignored just because it wasn't capable. It just hadn't been introduced the right way yet. And they knew from experience that Alteryx could be the game changer they were looking for. So instead of sticking with the status quo, they leaned into the potential. This was the first big win of this whole process. Identifying the tool that could unlock the most value, even if it wasn't the obvious choice. Look at here, the obvious choice was Power BI. Alteryx, as I said, 88% of never being used. So why go with Alteryx? And that's where we go. Why Alteryx? Well, the director that was leading this initiative had seen Alteryx in action at his previous bank, where it had revolutionized process and empowered their teams. So he knew Alteryx was proven in finance. So everybody knows that Alteryx is trusted by many top-tier financial institutions, big fours, for its ability to handle complex workflows. Alteryx is accessible, is extremely easy to use, with no code, low code, and pro code options. It's perfect. It's a perfect mix for every person inside of the company, beginners to experts, end users to data science. And of course, Alteryx is backed by a vibrant community. Some of you that are still here that are watching our webinar may be part of this community. The Alteryx community isn't just active, it's passionate. From forums to resources to events like Inspire, there's no shortage of support. If you have a question, you can just go to the Alteryx community and you'll have it. So leadership didn't just want a tool. They wanted a platform their team could grow with. And Alteryx checked box by box. So then they discovered AIP, the Alteryx Innovation Program. And here's where things got even more exciting. As I said, around the same time they discovered the AIP. Now, AIP isn't just a software rollout plan. It's a strategic framework designed to maximize the impact of analytics and automation. The AIP is all about upskilling teams, delivering quick wins. So everybody needs to be upskilled so they can use the tool effectively. And as I mentioned, delivering quick wins to prove the value of the investments. So for this bank, AIP was exactly what they needed to turn their vision that started in early 2022 into reality. And that's when we at Data Meaning stepped in to help make it happen. We worked closely with the bank to create a 4-step plan that would ensure the success of the AIP. So you can see on your screen those 4 steps: stimulating adoption, implementing training, develop use cases, and turn success into a game. So first of all, we need to get people on board. Change is hard, so we focus on inspiring and motivating the team. For step 2, we need to implement the training. We need to upskill the team. We provided structured, hands-on training to build confidence and capability. After you're upskilled, you can start to develop your use cases. Real-world applications are the best way to demonstrate value to stakeholders and even to the business users that will see the impact of all of those use cases in their day-to-day life. And last but not least, we needed to turn success into a game. So we needed to gamify the process. Adding a layer of fun and competition kept engagement high at maximum. So each step was carefully designed to address challenges and maximize impact. And I'll walk you through how each and every single one of those played out. So our first step was to stimulating adoption. Everybody knows that getting buy-in is critical for any transformation. So we started with live demos that showcase Alteryx potential. We highlighted how it could simplify complex processes, save hours of manual work, open doors to advanced analytics like predictive modeling. And leadership here played a key role by declaring Alteryx their essential productivity tool. So they told the entire team that this wasn't optional. It was the future. And to make it fun, we suggested that they introduced rewards for the top performers. Who doesn't love a little friendly competition? And it's that little detail that helped them grow from 3 all the way to 107 users, more than doubling their original goal. So let's take a look here at the chart. They started with 3 users before the AIP. The target was to get 50 users at the end of the AIP. On the first 30 days, they were already at 87. So they had already passed 37 users from their target. At the end of the AIP, at the end of the 4 months, they reached 107 users. This is amazing. It's almost unbelievable. So then we got everybody onboarded. Next up, training. And that was Data Meaning's time to shine. So with the Data Meaning AIP, the bank received hands-on training and tailored technical guidance from start to finish. Our support went beyond standard session. It was fully customized to meet their specific needs, from foundational skills to advanced technical know-how. Each and every single session, whether live or recorded, was structured and planned around a calendar that fits seamlessly with their workdays, ensuring that learning was effective and convenient as possible. This program truly prioritized accessibility and practical application. So you can see here on this example calendar that we had all of our sessions already scheduled. Everybody knew when it was happening, what was the topic about, so everybody could plan their days and access and be in the sessions whenever they happened. We mapped out an entire training roadmap that included 14 live training sessions, progressing from beginner, essentials, all the way to complex topics like Alteryx Server. So you can see here that we started with a kickoff to get everybody onboarded, everybody knowing what was happening. Then we switch it over to the training sessions itself. It's starting with Alteryx for Excel analysts. That's where we take people from the Excel era and bring them into Alteryx, doing the parallel between Excel functions and how to do them in Alteryx. Then we dive deep in each of Alteryx tool palettes on the core tools that they have. So we went through data blending, preparation, inputs and outputs, transformation, and parsing, covering all of the different core tools that Alteryx has, and the tools that mostly they are used in 90% of the workflows. Then we have macros and apps. So we started with some intermediate trainings as well, preparing everyone to be able to master the core certification. So we created a course with the Alteryx Designer Core Certification Overview and made sure that everybody that was doing the trainings was able to do the test and pass. And we got it in a really successful way. A lot of the folks, more than 90% of everybody that was being trained, got their certifications. After that, macros too, starting to do more advanced macros like batch macros, and also working with Intelligence Suite. So remember, they started knowing nothing from zero, from scratch. And now they were even doing sentimental analysis, reading PDFs, and scheduling everything on server. Look how many stuff they learned in only 14 live training sessions. So over a span of 14 weeks, we provided 48 hours of learning opportunities, incorporating office hours, one-on-one support for more in-depth questions, and a high-energy hackathon to bring everyone together in a challenge. And with exciting prizes at stake, participants had every single reason to dive deep. engage, and push their skills further than ever. The results? Well, they spoke for themselves. We saw a tremendous turnout with 50 participants actively engaged in the program, with an impressive 70% average attendance. By the end of it, participants weren't just users, they were creators, building complex workflows and developing custom applications on Alteryx. Even more rewarding for us, the feedback we received was outstanding, with our session scoring a remarkable 9.6 out of 10. This score reflects the value our team brought through interactive teaching, clarity, and practical exercises that truly resonated with the participants. And why did we focus on live sessions? Simply because they work, because they make a really true impact. Real-time interactions meant participants got immediate answers, troubleshooting, and encouragement on the spot. So this created a collaborative and engaging learning space where people felt supported every step of the way. Learning Alteryx or any complex tools, it's just like learning to ride a bike. It's a hands-on experience. It requires both guidance and a lot of practice. And with a structured live session, clear objectives, participants were set up not only to learn, but to excel, building a strong foundation they could carry forward. So we had a lot of different advantages when dealing with live training sessions. You have interactive learning, immediate feedback, demo and practice, collaborative environment, motivation and accountability, and I think the most important of them, building trust with the instructor. They were interacting day by day directly with the instructor, and it promoted trust with them. So this enhanced the learning experience to another level because they felt comfortable. They were able to ask the questions, get the answers right away, and there was no silly question. Every single question is a question that matters. Sometimes people just feel ashamed to do some questions, but whenever you build trust in someone, whenever you are on this collaborative environment with everyone learning together, where you can have this immediate feedback, you feel more comfortable. You feel that you can really ask and get your answers right away. So within all of those different advantages, we were able to upskill all of this bank's team. And now that they had their skills leveled up, it was time to put them to the test by developing real use cases. You can see here that the initial goal for this program was ambitious, yet focused. We aim to complete a few key use cases by the end of the program, but outcome far exceed the expectations. By the end, the team had developed 171 use cases across 5 departments, with 85 of those moved into production. A huge win for the bank and a testament to the power of self-serve analytics. You can see here that we have 5 different areas, and I'll talk about some of them. So for the controllership team, we had use cases focused on improving financial reporting and accuracy. For instance, they automated complex reconciliations process that previously took days, enabling faster monthly closes with fewer errors. So we already have less manual tasks and risk reduction. For tax, the team tackled labor-intensive compliance and reporting workflows. One notable use case that involved automating data aggregation for tax filings, which reduced the time spent on data preparation by 50%. And tax is one of the areas that you can find the most use cases of them all. There's a study that says that 60% of all of the tax procedures can be 100% automated. So imagine 60% of all of your tax processes fully automated. That's amazing. For cost management, we've centered the use cases around streamlined expenses tracking and analysis. The team built an automated expense allocation model that analyzed cost data by department. For commercial finance, the team focused on profitability and margin analysis. They developed models to calculate product profitability by region, giving decision makers insights into which product lines were performing best. Last but not least, for corporate planning, use cases included forecasting and scenarios analysis. The team building a rolling forecast model that could be updated instantly with new data, helping executives adapt strategies based on market conditions. So by implementing these use cases that I was talking about, each department gained efficiency, accuracy, and real-time insights that were previously out of reach. So these solutions not only streamlined operations, but empowered teams across the organization to make faster, data-informed decisions. So imagine, they wanted to have a few use cases to prove value. They got 171 use cases. A lot more than what they wanted. And they moved 85 of those use cases into production. It was more than just a win. It was a transformation. So can you imagine, in 4 months, creating 171 use cases and having 85 of those implemented? It's such a big number, and it's remarkable. So our last step that was made throughout the whole program, and the most fun part, was the hackathon. The hackathon took things to a whole nother level. Teams competed to build the best Alteryx workflows. And the rules were pretty simple, as you can see here on the screen. They needed to submit an idea to optimize the current business process. So basically, what they needed to do was to identify a process that they were having troubles, a process that could bring some efficiency for them, and use this one to submit this idea. Second rule, of course, they had to develop the solution inside of Alteryx. Third, they needed to present the case and solution to a panel of judges. Not only show the workflow, they needed to create a presentation, be creative, and show value on their use cases. The criteria are here on the screen. So the projects, they were judged on business impact, presentation, and workflow complexity. The first 50%, the first 80% actually, all on the bank. So business impact, quality of presentation, they had their own judges. The technical complexity went to data meeting to judge them. So we were not judging on number of tools, which tools they use. We wanted to know the complexity of the process. So we judged by which process they were turning into an Alteryx workflow, how complex were the functions that they needed to use, and how optimized were their workflows. Because you can build a workflow with 100 tools, but sometimes a workflow with less tools is way optimized and works better. So we needed to judge all of those different stuff inside of this technical complexity to give the final 20% points of this evaluation. Well, the final results of the hackathon exceed every expectation and truly demonstrated the transformative power of self-service analytics. In just a short time, the projects developed during the hackathon led to impressive 2,514 hours saved across those multiple teams. That's 2,500 hours that can now be redirected to high-value tasks, strategic planning, and proactive problem solving. Time that makes a real difference to the bank's operational agility. Imagine 2,500 hours back to your day. It's a lot. And all of that was wasted in manual tasks that leads to human errors and all other stuff. But the impact didn't stop there. Through streamlined workflows and optimized process, the hackathon projects led to the elimination of 1,772 Excel files. This reduction not only saved time and simplified data management, but also significantly reduced the risk of human error, inconsistent data, and version control. By consolidating and automating all of those tasks previously managed across these countless spreadsheets, the bank achieved an 81% boost in operational efficiency. And perhaps most importantly, these projects brought a 78% reduction in risk. By automating high-risk processes and reducing manual input, they were able to minimize potential errors and compliance risks, enhancing the bank's overall data integrity and reliability. So they boosted 81% in efficiency gain and reduced risk in 78%, only with 15 submitted cases. So those numbers that you're seeing here on the screen is not even the result of the whole AIP. It's the result of only the hackathon use cases. Remember, we said 85 implemented use cases. 6 times what we have here. So multiply all of those numbers by 6, and you'll see how well the results were. And the results of our hackathon were nothing short of game-changing. Not only did the projects lead to incredible outcomes, but the participants had even more to celebrate. For their hard work, innovation, and impact, the winning team was rewarded with a no expenses paid trip to Alteryx Inspire 2024 in Vegas, fully covered by the bank. This was an incredible opportunity for the winners to connect with industry experts, dive into advanced analytics training, and gain new insights to bring back to their teams and gain even more efficiency, reduce even more risks, save more hours, and delete a lot more files. So those were the 4 steps that took us to our next chapter. That is what we learned. So let's wrap this up by looking at what we learned and where we are heading. So first things first, Alteryx is really a tool for everyone. Alteryx is a technology for all. Here's the proof. 53% of the bank's Alteryx users were business users, analysts, people who never touched Alteryx or any data tools before, or if they touch it, was a simple Excel, Power BI, or something really simple. But that didn't stop them. They created 61 workflows, implemented 30 use cases, and saved over 1,000 hours. Then we've got other 47% data analysts and data scientists. This group developed 110 workflows, with 55 of them implemented, saving nearly 3,000 hours annually. What's even more impressive is what they achieved with Alteryx. They connected seamlessly to enterprise systems, used custom code where needed, built complex automation, and even created predictive models. So the bottom line here, over 4,000 hours saved annually, all from just 4 months of work. Nothing. From September to December. That's the period that everything here on all of those slides were made. So whether you're a total beginner or a seasoned pro, Alteryx has something for everyone. It's no-code, low-code, and pro-code. Has capabilities that make it accessible for all skills levels. And what are the next steps here? So the journey didn't stop, and won't stop here. The bank now is looking to expand Alteryx community even further. This AIP was only for finance. They want to establish a COE, a Center of Excellence, to keep the momentum going and maximize the power of, Alteryx server, now that the team has mastered Designer. So who knows? Maybe they'll take the leap and they'll take the cloud in the near future. As we wrap up, there's one key message I'd like you to take away. So while having Alteryx license is a great first step to try to unlock the power of it, it's important to have leadership support, making training mandatory and making training part of this process. And of course, partner with a team like us who knows how to keep things engaging and effective. At Data Meeting, we are here to make sure your team has the guidance and the resources they need to succeed, helping you build confidence and momentum. With the right support, committed training, and leadership buy-in, you can build a culture where data-driven decisions and innovative thrives. So after this presentation, I want you all to think on how we can support you. And if you need any support from us, just let us know. So now let's open for Q&A.
Sure. Thank you so much, Hani, by the way, for that great presentation. Okay, everybody, feel free to share your question in the Q&A section or the chat. We are here to answer you. While we wait for question, Hani, I have a few for of my own, right? So first one, what are the key points you want us to keep from this presentation?
Okay, so I think the most important thing for us here is to have leadership buy-in and the right partner. So those are the things that we need to succeed. So as I said, since the beginning, we had the buy-in from leadership. So they were involved, they made training mandatory, they said Alteryx were their finance tool. So that made everyone understand where they were going. And with us, so data meaning leading the AIP, we were able to set the roadmap, create the momentum, and keep things going within all of the participants.
Okay, great. The second one is, what is the main factor for a successful API?
Yeah, I think the question is, and the answer of this is very similar to what we were saying. So basically, if you have leadership buy-in, if you have those live trainings, if you have everyone caring about how the participants are going, if you build the trust on the trainer, as I mentioned, everything will get easier and it will be faster. So people will have this comfort of being heard and will understand the power of the tool and be upskilled in the right way.
Okay, that's awesome. The last one that I have is, how can we use the hours that we are saving in this case?
Oh, that's a great question. So you saw that this bank, they saved up to 4,000 hours annually. So imagine all of those hours they were going to manual tasks like people filling up spreadsheets or doing the same process all of the time. But they could be using those hours to do more advanced analysis, to try to even reduce more errors or to do something else. So why do all of those jobs, all of those tasks that a computer can handle, and grab those all of hours that you were saving, all of those 4,000 hours, and do some advanced analytics on top of it. So that's where you can go with those hours.
Okay, that's great. That's again, Hani, that's awesome. Really great presentation. And thanks for everyone to join in. Remember, we'll send the recording of this webinar to your email in the coming few weeks. And that's it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.